going on here? Okay. Just make sure everything's good to go here. Yep. Okay. Okay, just going to share this link to my social media pages. Boy, oh boy, I really miss StreamYards. I've only got enough. Just make sure everything. Hey, what's going on, Zach? Yeah, I've only got a few hours left on the old StreamYards for the month, and it resets on the 27th. So if I'm going to have any interviews, and I have a couple people that have reached out to me for interviews, so I'm kind of holding off on using the StreamYards because I need StreamYards for the interviews. I guess the only one here. So far, Zach, so far. Let's see what it, it's showing there's 7 there now. You're the only one that's commenting so far as of yet. I see Ann and Steve G. What's up? Like I said, I'm just going to share the link here to the other social media pages because, as everyone probably knows at this point in time, getting notifications, now control, okay, is more and more difficult by the day, especially when you're talking about the COVID-19 coverage. Ooh, like I say, we're all restricting what we're allowed to say and how we're going to cover or how we're allowed to cover. Which is obviously an issue. It's a free speech issue, obviously, right? But this is the thing. For us to be able to say anything at all, well, we got to try to do so and follow these rules, right? Which, like I say, anyways, like I said, I'm sharing it to my social media pages because at least when I share it on my other social media pages, at least there's a better chance of people getting some form of notification. So there it goes out to the old Facebook. And let's send it out. Oh, wait. Oh, gonna have to get rid of that there. Okay. Send that out. And we'll send it out here as well. Okay. That looks good for now. Looks good enough for me. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Ken Rose? Come on, boys, give the man some thumbs up. Yeah, thanks, Ken. Yeah, actually, that would be great if you would actually help me out by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Hey, what's going on, Howard G? Gordon Stewart III. Hey, you're still alive. No one ratted you out yet. Oh, good to see you. Hey, thanks, Gordon. Well, I mean, not much to rat me out on. I'm practicing my social isolation. I have been for a while, and like I said, enjoying every minute of it. The less amount of time I got to spend with some of the crazies out there, the better. But yeah, there's definitely a lot more we've got to talk about. I hope everyone had a great weekend, the Easter weekend. And of course, speaking of Easter weekend, the first article I'm going to be covering, like I say, I wish I could share these with you folks in the chat. Actually, as I'm doing this, I should have did this before I even went live, to be honest with you, so that I make sure I'm keeping all of these articles to put on the in the description when I am done. I'm just going to get a first couple here just to make sure, so I can, because that's the thing. Too much stuff cluttered in the background slows down the old internet too. So, the less of that, the better, right? Oh, yes, and this one. Oh, yeah, like I say, some pretty good stuff here we got to cover today. All right, we'll call that for now. Beautiful. So yeah, so speaking of the Easter weekend, and of course we all heard the rules, right? Oh, make sure you don't get with family unless they're people in your household. Make sure you're keeping that 6 feet apart. And you know the myriad of rules that are all thrust and forced upon us. Some of them make sense to me, right? Some of them, it's like, yeah, can we treat each other as adults? And can we at least be consistent? But this is the thing, when you're talking about those in government, consistency, oh, well, that falls by the wayside almost the minute you're talking about people from government, right? Because government is basically an institution, an entity created to give some people an exception to the rules or the laws that we all have to abide by or obey, but they don't. That's literally what government is. Like you and I, we don't have any legitimate authority or right to steal from anyone any portion of their income. Government claims that authority, right? So it's a contradiction already in that fact. And, I don't have any authority to control what my neighbor does, but hey, government does, right? Now, we're not talking about actual laws to prevent actual harm, things that actually we're all familiar with. We're talking about things that the what if scenario. And like I say, don't even get me started on that whole thing, because I grew up hearing that, what if? What if? There's a million things that you could say. Literally, there's basically nothing you could prevent people from doing if you just use the what if, because there's always potential dangers, right? There's everything you do. Walking across the street is a potential hazard. And people get struck by cars all the time. Riding your bicycle, once again, right? Going for a walk in the woods. Now, it doesn't happen very often, but we do hear periodic reports of, people being attacked by wild cats, the lynx, the Canadian lynx or such, or a rabid fox or something. I mean, so life is constantly full of potential dangers and hazards. But what the West used to understand fundamentally is, okay, we have recognized that, yes, we're on a big giant, globe, big planet floating through space at thousands of miles per hour, and there's potential dangers from the external part of the world too, right? Asteroids and impacts from other celestial objects, right? Close encounters, right? With let's say comets in the past. And I mean, there's a myriad of things, like I say, that causes potential harm for humans, like I say, externally and in the world we live in. But like I say, what we used to fundamentally understand as people in the West, and it was a general consensus except for, a small minority of people, because, I know growing up, like, people I would talk to all usually understood, yes, there are hazards in life. That's what it is to live life. There are hazards, right? Try to reduce them as much as you can, but you don't restrict your liberties. You don't stop living for the sake of hoping that you'll make it out of this alive. Not going to happen, right? Either way, you're all going to end up 6 feet under or a big pile of ashes, depending on what your choice is at the end of your life, right? How you're packaged or put away after that. But basically, we're all going to die. None of us are going to make it out of this thing alive anyway. So of course, the West kind of figured out we're always going to err on the side of respecting individual liberties and not play the what if or the fear-mongering game. But that is all, as we've seen, that is all shifted. It's all been completely upended, and now it's this constant fear-mongering. And it has been, for me, I know it's been a gradual creep, but even since I was a kid, it's been a constant encroachment on our liberties under this pretense of false sense of security or safety. And like I say, mandatory minimum punishments, the non-stop layers and layers and layers of bureaucracy and regulation, right? And policy. Now, all those policies were like, well, that don't make any sense. Well, you just got to do it because those are the rules, right? It's like, once again, mindless order followers that just basically do whatever they're told, right? It's like a lot of these people, which is why I shared that video on the weekend, is from the Nuremberg trials. I don't know if anyone of you saw that. I shared that on my Facebook page, but yeah, two things. One is all these people today, the control freaks that are causing harm and destroying our liberties and depending on how authoritarian they go. Yeah. Hitler and his henchmen thought they were going to get away with the kind of shit they did back in the day. But, eventually these people will be held to account. right now, while they got the controls of power, and a lot of more mindless order followers carrying out their edicts, threatening the public and doing what they're told, yeah, sure, maybe right now it's a little difficult to hold them to account. But that's not going to be the case, and it's not going to remain that way forever. And just like it was said during the Nuremberg trials, this bullshit pretense that, I was just following orders. Trudeau just told me to do it. Doug Ford just told me to do it. Or, Blaine Higgs just told me to, or whoever the hell else, whatever, premier or mayor, or John Tory, that little petty tyrant, right? We were just doing what we're told. Well, like that excuse falls by the wayside, and it fell by the wayside in terms of what the West seen as a consequence of result of the Nuremberg trials. Sorry, you can't use that excuse. So I was just putting these people in ovens, and I was just doing it because Hitler told me so, right? It's like, no, just like today. If you're doing things that are infringing on Canadians' liberties and their inherent and inalienable rights, well, like I say, you might get away with it for now because you're part of that enforcer class, and you have the political class laying cover for you, and the media class, giving you political propaganda to twist and spin everything to seem like you're out there benefiting. You're just protecting people from themselves, right? Like, you might have that for now, but like I say, the time is going to come when that's no longer going to be the case, and accountability will come. Mark my words, folks. Mark my words. Anyways, like I say, so let's get back to this, because like I say, while most Canadians, and I even seen some Facebook posts from some of my friends, not just online friends, but people I know in my personal life as well, that weren't even getting together with family. Why? Because they were fearful of going against these edicts, these rules by government, which basically telling people, no, you can't get together with your family. We're going to protect you from yourself, right? As if the people in the family wouldn't be wise enough or in a better position or have more knowledge or actually more concerned with their own safety. That's the thing. To pretend that someone in government cares more for the safety or security of you and your family, that's just, to believe that is just wishful thinking and just absolute bullshit, right? But anyways, so like I say, let's get move on. I think I kind of rambled a little bit enough on that. But so this headline is out of the National Post. Government's COVID-19 rules don't seem to apply to Andrew Scheer and Justin Trudeau. Trudeau and his family traveled to their cottage over the weekend, while Scheer and his family took a small government jet with other MPs to Ottawa. So there's this once again. Trudeau and these hacks, right, would be out there telling you, no, sorry, yeah, I know it's going to suck to not be with your family this Thanksgiving, this Easter, but, sorry, we got to follow the rules, right? But as it's being reported here, and lots of folks probably seen the Twitter pics, the tweets, I think it was Justin's wife there, Sophie or whatever, that post the pictures or whatever on their social media page, showing them all out there hanging out in the boat and going up and traveling these. It must be a rural area, and they're saying, and actually one of the rules was don't go to these areas because they don't have the infrastructure to deal with any kind of outbreak in these rural type. Don't stay away from the cottages, right? But yet, where does Trudeau go? To the cottage. So once again, and what is more of a confined space than being in an airplane? And it wasn't just Scheer and his family members, but there was also Elizabeth May on there. There was a couple other MPs. So once again, all getting together, and good luck trying to keep your 2-meter distancing, right, on a little private jet, right? Even if it's a decent sized private jet, sorry, there's just not that much room on them. It's not a 787, right? No. So come on. There's already once again the discrepancy and the hypocrisy because, well, they're part of the ruling class. Rules don't apply. Rules are only for the peons, the sheeple, right? The minions. Right? Anyways, back in, I'm going to see who else is in the chat here. Because, I'm going to go on a bit of a ramble there today, of course. Okay. Hey, rebel libertarians. What's going on, Cass? Oh, actually, let me make the announcement now. I'll do it again, hopefully. Hopefully I'll remember to do it again. But yeah, for some reason now, usually you have to wait till you get 10,000 subscribers before they roll out the ability to have membership on your YouTube channel. But it turns out I'm eligible. How that happened, I don't know. Right? I wasn't given any reason or there was no explanation as to why, but apparently the last little box on my channel when I was going in to check on my past streams and my monetization stuff, it's that little thing that the only thing I wasn't eligible for was channel memberships. Well, now I am. And even though I still have yet to reach that 10,000 subscriber count, like I say, for some reason, the gods of YouTube has seen me as worthy of now having the option for channel membership. So I'll be making even more announcements regarding that. And I made 3 levels. So they're basically going to be Liberty Explorer. So that will be the entry level. I've set that at $2.99 per month, which is pretty cheap, right? Take that even and stretch it out over the year. It's less than $40 for the year, right? So pretty good deal as far as I'm concerned. And that, like I say, it gets you your badge. It gets you special shout outs in live streams. And of course, you're part of a member. You get to become part of the member, and like I say, it's called Liberty Explorer. Now the next level up is for $4.99 per month, so $5, not a whole lot more. 5 times 12, so roughly around $60 a year. Still pretty reasonable priced if you think of it. And I wanted to keep things on the lower side because I recognize that not everyone out there that watches my video, a lot of you might be in the position I am, and pretty low on the old cash for the most part. So I wanted to keep the levels quite low and respect people for that. But on that level, you get, in addition to getting the shout out, you also get, I had all this stuff all set aside here. Just let me double check here. I might have typed it in up here as well. I've got it on. Yeah, so in addition to the shout out, you get to be part of, there's going to be an actual extra sidebar, side chat for members only, where the members can chat amongst each other or for me. So me and just members. So more of a little bit of a private type of chat, right? That's pretty cool. And of course you get the shout out as well. Now at the upper end of things, and it was weird because you weren't allowed $9.99 because I figured, well, to double that to the real high end of it at things, and I'm not sure how many people would want to go that high, but anyways, they didn't have $9.99, so I had to go $10.99, unfortunately. But so for that 11 though, for that upper end membership level, and that's going to be okay. Let me get back here. I was trying to do too many things at once there. So there's the entry level, which is Liberty Explorers, the mid level, which is Liberty Hunter, Liberty Explorer, Liberty Hunter, and the upper level, which is Liberty Leader. And for the third level, you get, in addition to the shout out and access to the private chat, the members only chat, you also, I'll make it so that you can come on to the show anytime you want. We'll just set up a date and time, and you can do that up to 3 times in the run of a year. So you'll be a special guest on the show, and you can say whatever you want, deal with whatever topic you want to deal with, and you kind of get to be a part of the show as a special guest. So like I say, so there's those 3 options that'll be available, and I say it's at least something for me now to kind of step things up to another level, and having channel membership is definitely going to help me in doing that. So anyways, now that I've got that out of the way, back to dealing with everyone in the chat. Yeah, make sure you close the chat to like the video. Close the chat to like the video. You have to close the chat to like the Howard G, hi bud. Hey, what's up? Oh yeah, okay, so I seen that already. 4/20/20 celebrations. What's this? Oh, I was just looking at the date. Not yet, right? Yeah, 4/20/20 celebrations, right? Yeah, imagine there'll be lots of people be doing that. What's going on, Derek? Churches closed, abortion clinics open, right? Isn't that crazy? I've noticed local job posting that were offering $16 an hour have recently changed to $14.50. Lowering pay? What the? Obviously, it's not an essential service, right? Because it should be going the other way around. Hey, what's going on? Ibetas. Let me make those words a little bigger here so I can see that better. I hear Comet Atlas is breaking apart. Oh, never heard anything. We are living in East Germany, 1955, or at least something along the lines, right? Lost brightness by a factor of 2. Oh, okay, more like 1930. Okay, so like I say, just waiting to see if there's a few more people going to join the chat. But in the meantime, so like I say, so I covered the article, so I can close that one up regarding, Trudeau and Scheer not following the orders that they're telling every one of us have to, right? This is another one I thought, wow, really though? But listen to this, folks. So this one here's out of True North News. And it's 5 cases of people So for those of us who are but not part of the ruling class and do have to abide by these mandates and edicts, well, these are just 5 cases of people who were fined for not social distancing, so not following out those orders. And this is only the beginning. This was reported April 7th by Lindsay Shepard. Now that many municipalities across the country have instituted fines for those who are not social distancing, we are starting to hear accounts from those who have been slapped with fines for failing to keep a 2-meter distance apart from others. Many of these cases involve individuals who were just trying to get some fresh air and exercise, or who were confused about the ever-changing rules and expectations. Here are the top 5 cases from the past week, and this is only the beginning. So this is just from the past week, folks, and like Lindsay is suggesting or alluding to is, yeah, this is definitely only the beginning. So listen to this one. Number 5. Group of basketball players fined $750. In Peterborough, Ontario, a group of 8 men were playing basketball on the evening of March 30th when police received a complaint that the men were violating the province's recently enacted Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act, which bans social gatherings of more than 5 people. The men ceased playing after being approached by police, but proceeded to resume their game and were caught again, resulting in a $750 fine. Now, just think about that. All these terrible, I don't know, it doesn't even say how young or old they were, but I mean, they were out playing a basketball game, and I would assume they all voluntarily chose to out and play amongst each other, right? That was people that chose to do so under their own fruition, but government said, no, you're not allowed, right? These are people that accepted the risk, but government said, no, we're going to protect you from yourself. Number 4, Ottawa area man must pay $880 for walking dog. Corey Yanofsky was walking his dog through Britannia Park in Ottawa on the morning of April 5th when a bylaw officer slapped him with an $880 fine. Anthony DeMonte, head of Ottawa's Emergency and Protective Services, told the Ottawa Citizen that walking through parks is permitted, but stopping to play with your dog in the park is not. This was indeed Yanofsky's understanding, that he could walk through the park but not stay to engage in any activities. But he was fined nonetheless. So the guy was just walking his dog. He was walking his fucking dog. Like, come on. Oh, my God. Over the weekend of April 3rd to 5th, 43 people received fines in Ottawa for failing to social distance. And the city's bylaw team received 526 snitch complaints, right? There's those rats out there, right? This is the biggest concern I see. It's not, well, obviously the order followers and the ruling class, handed down these mandates and edicts that are seeing, like think of what it's costing these people. And what if these people have lost their job, right? Like that, and how are you going to get that fine from anyways? You got to go through the courts processes. Anyways, forget about all that bullshit. But I mean, think of it. This person was literally just walking his dog. That is what he's guilty of. Based on what this is suggesting, didn't even place anyone else in harm at all, but was given an $880 fine for not respecting the authority, right? Next, number 3. 2 teenagers received $1,200 fine for sitting in a car together. 2 high school boys from Cochrane, Alberta were sitting in a car together in a parking lot when an RCMP officer approached them and notified the teenagers they were in violation of the province's Public Health Act. The teens each received a $1,200 ticket, though ultimately both tickets were dropped and the province's chief medical officer clarified that carpooling is permitted. So look at that. An overzealous, and of course because they were teens, these order followers, right? It's like, oh, them teens, they get that connotation. Oh, but meanwhile these people were teens themselves. But that's the thing. It's like people are so easy to put themselves in some abstract and forget about that. These are just people, right? But that authoritarian mindset obviously creeped in and gave each of these teens a $1,200 fine, even though it was done against the edicts. And actually, it was even clarified by the chief medical officer that carpooling is permitted, as it should be. Unbelievable, folks. Okay, moving on to the next one. Number 2. PEI woman must pay up for attending illegal gathering of more than 5 people. A 38 I don't know what happened to my screen there. Okay, one sec. A 38-year-old woman from PEI must pay $1,000 for attending an illegal gathering of over 5 people who do not reside at the same dwelling. In PEI, those who are caught not social distancing will receive a first-time fine of $1,000, which will increase to $2,000 in the case of a second offense and $10,000 for any subsequent offense. So, $1,000 for attending an illegal gathering of over 5 people. This is what, like I say, those order followers, those enforcers are out there doing today. Writing these, and I mean, $1,000 is, I mean, for a lot of people, $1,000 is a substantial amount of money, right? Not everyone's got $1,000 to just pony up, as we recognize, considering half of the population in this country are what, $200 away from not being able to pay their bills for the month. So $1,000, it's a lot of money. And number 1, father in Orleans given $700 fine for letting son kick a soccer ball in a patch of grass. When his 4-year-old son asked to go out to play some soccer, Ottawa area father David Martinek took him to a nearby patch of grass that was unconnected to any public park or field. The family resides in a small townhouse with no backyard, and Martinek's son, who has autism, needed to let some energy out and run around. However, as Martinek's son was playing soccer in the grass, a bylaw officer took down Martinek's license plate number and told him he will be fined $700. Despite receiving the fine, Martinek told the Ottawa Citizen he is absolutely in favor of all the restrictions in place. There's an update. Ultimately, Martinek was only issued a warning. Anyway, so I don't know who the hell this father is. The father chose to take his autistic son, but now it's I guess he deserves that, right? For taking out his autistic son. Anyways, you can't help everybody, right? People, I mean, obviously he didn't think that his son was going to be in any danger. I'm pretty sure he has more concern. Anyways, forget about all that. But yeah, so there's 5 examples, which as far as I'm concerned, this 5 example, I mean, not one of them make any sense as far as I'm concerned. And it's just, like I say, petty tyrants and these little control freaks have now been given the tools to practice their authority, and they're already doing it, right? They're already itching. They're already writing tickets to the tunes of hundreds and hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars to people for doing basically what Trudeau and Scheer did, right? Did Trudeau and Scheer get any tickets? I mean, it's public. It's very public what they did, right? Everyone, there's pictures of it. There were people on the plane. There was multiple witnesses to these infractions, but any tickets? As if they would have to pay for them. Or what? They're going to pay for them what? Out of their salaries? That's come by way of... Anyways, forget about all that. But yeah, so there's that, folks. Like I say, that as well will be in the description of the video below as well. Let me get back to the chat, see if there's anyone else in the chat here. I think it could be because the flood of unemployed in the market. Marauders and thugs are going to appear on the horizon soon. The police will not attend or help. There's already lots of thugs, yeah, and they are the order followers. That's the thing. People are worried about the criminals, and it's like you're surrounded by criminals every day. The difference is the most rampant criminals are the ones that walk around with a badge, right, or wearing expensive suits and show up at the parliament buildings and legislatures, right? But because you've been told that, if you don't follow government edicts, you're a criminal, then no wonder 2 million Canadians live retired outside of Canada. Yeah, if anyone rats me out, I'm breaking their... I wouldn't recommend advocating, but I don't know why everyone thinks they got to bring that stuff here. I'd appreciate just don't bring, like I said, it's all I ask. Just keep the threats out of the stream. That's all. right? I understand your thinking. Not saying it's the wrong way of thinking there. People that want to cause you harm, that's the thing. Because people that, they definitely want to cause you harm. They want to send people with guns, right, to bully you. And if you don't accept the bullying, then, yeah, things can escalate quite quickly. So I kind of get where you're coming from there, Daniel. But, yeah, come on. Really, though? Snitches all over city folk coming to cottages. Keep stocking food for next winter. Agriculture food supply chains are broken. I see there was a Jennifer Sinclair message retracted. Wonder why is that? What happened? Huh. Not sure what happened there. There was a comment by Jennifer Sinclair. Trudeau tells you from his cottage not to go to yours. That's a real leader. I mean, loser, yeah. I called our local police to find out a few things. If you're outside, not around anyone, you're fine. There is no law on mass either. Well, like I say, it's. Unless you're saying that Lindsay Shepherd is reporting is fake news, like the things that she reported on was incorrect, I would say that the guy with his autistic son, right? Or the guy walking his dog, sounds like it was one guy. And I mean, there's lots of examples. But if you're calling up the police, like I say, the real criminals in this country, then, you ever know? Let me let you know a little secret there, Daniel. They're completely allowed to lie to you, right? They don't have to be honest with you or forthright in any way. Matter of fact, cops lie all the time. It's almost part of their job, you might say. So, anyways. And these people, trust me, there's private citizens that know more about the laws than a lot of these order followers. But welcome to the New World Order. Yeah. Whatever. I'm not into any world order, new or old. The only order I care about is that respects individual liberty. Gates says we all need his vaccine. Okay. How do they expect you to pay when you have no job? Yeah, good question. Good question, right? Liberty is being stepped on. Watch it get worse. Gates doesn't vax his kids. Why? Think we should all vote Libertarian? Now, we already got a very, very competent man at the helm of the Libertarian Party of Canada, Tim Moen, and I say if he wants the job, go right to it. But like I say, I wouldn't want to be a political leader at all. I don't, because I know what the job entails, right? And not only that, but the chance of even if you say, Daniel, that you vote, who's y'all all? Let me see how many's. All 27 people watching. Like I say, we're a real tiny minority, so you're not gonna, vote your way out of this one, folks. Sorry about that. I know. Fake like, why am I getting these people in my chat like fake virus? Like, I thought I weeded out all the people they're like, I just don't understand. I don't understand. I look for a little higher grade of peeps to follow my channel, but I still end up with some fucking people that just all they care about is everything's fake. Does nothing to give you any credibility or change the shit that's actually happening. Unless you can convince Trudeau and them people that it's all fake, right? Like, anyways, I don't know what good it does to try to say that stuff in this chat, but, whatever. Freedom of speech and all, right? They're all hypocrites and liars we're going to hell in a hurry. Is this so that I don't do any more streams? Boy, it will work. If I don't see a little higher quality of fucking comments in my streams, it might goddamn well work. Yeah, I don't know. I'm already discouraged. I'm already getting discouraged in this stream. I'm not even wanting to continue on. Maybe I'm just going to stay away from the chat. That's what I'm going to do for a while. Stay away from the chat. Okay. Oh yeah, let me get to this article. Maybe I should do these. I don't know. Anyways, just thinking out loud here. All right. So let me go to this. This was posted April 13th, 2020, and it's a CBC News article. Nearly 6 million people have applied for COVID-19 emergency benefits. 6 million people, folks, already. 6 million. Wow, right? Wage subsidy legislation to help businesses keep workers on the payroll passes in Parliament on the weekend. Nearly 6 million people have applied for COVID-19 emergency aid benefits in the past month. Figures from Employment Minister Carla Qualtrough's office show that more than half of them, 3.5 million, have applied for the Canada Emergency Response benefits since applications opened on April 6th. So 3.5 million. Today's the 14th. So just over 1 week, 3.5 million people in 1 week applied for this massive, ginormous government wealth redistribution. And like I say, how many of those 3.5 million has actually asked, where does this money come from? Right? I'm pretty sure most of them just, hey, someone's promised me money and I'm out of money because somebody put me out of a job. Hey, give me some money. Oh, wait a minute. But it's government that put you out of a job and it's government that's giving you money. Don't you want to question any of that at all? Right? Government's going to prevent you from being, a productive person in society, which is what generates and creates wealth, but yet they're going to give you money without having to do that. Like I say, at the very least, I don't know, 1 in 10 maybe, 1 in 100. Hey, heck, even 1 in 1,000 would be nice, but I'm not hearing even nothing close to that of these people saying, where's this money come from? Because I haven't ever even seen any of these people. Like I pay attention to CBC News, CTV News, Globe and Mail. I mean, like the National Post, the Financial Post. I mean, you folks see the kind of stuff I share. I've yet to see one major media publication or news outlet in this country even talk about where is this money coming from. Do you think it's not only is the 3.5 million or the entire 6 million, or anyone in media, or anyone in the political class, or those in education, like that are all sitting home with nothing better to do than stream? Where's all these people from, like I say, part of academia, the ruling class, the media class, anyone, any of your thought leaders or opinion makers, where's any of them out there saying, where is this money coming from? Like I say, that should be one of the top questions on anybody's mind when you're seeing this kind of massive amount of wealth redistribution. This is far in excess than anything that happened even under the financial crisis, when we were told, without all these bailouts, without government propping up the very people that put us in this situation in the first place, like it was way lower then, the bailouts were, than it is for this coronavirus, this COVID-19 outbreak. So why? Like why such massive amounts of stimulus and spending? Why such massive amounts of forced wealth and income redistribution? Why such destruction in terms of the economy or the supply chains? I mean, we're even hearing reports now that U.S. and Canada, some of the big meat processing plants are having to shut down. So the food chain or the food supply is now even potentially being threatened. And once again, who's out there asking the why? Or, like I say, the where in terms of where this money's come from? Nothing. Other than a few people like myself, which have very few people watching them. And the few people watching them just want to say it's either fake or, I don't know, just it's all a hoax. Or, once again, where are the people that are thinking critically about this? Because there are seemingly not many of them around anywhere. online, in real life, in the media. Like I say, it's like I'm looking around there. It's like I really, really, really can't help but suggest that. Is it all a dream? Is it a fucking nightmare? What's going on? Why is nobody talking about this stuff, the important stuff, but it's fake or, oh, it's, I don't know, the boogeyman's coming to get you. Like, why? Why is no one talking about what really, really, really matters, right? I don't know. Like I say, the total figures of nearly 6 million includes those who applied through the employment insurance process, which will be streamed through CREB for the first 4 months. To date, close to 5.4 million aid claims have been processed. Think about it. Done that quick too. They can't do shit. Government never does anything quick, but boy, they were certainly ready to run 5.4 million people through this claims process and get them on the government dole. That was it. That worked out quite seamlessly, like quite easily. Why, right? Gee, how could they have been so prepared for forced wealth and income redistribution, but to be prepared for the actual virus? No, right? And as we're seeing, as far as preparedness, long-term facilities and retirement homes should have been one of the first places that they'd be looking to secure and have, the best practices and make sure that it didn't happen, because that's where the most vulnerable would happen. But we're hearing today reports of 50%, half of the people infected and suffering or dying as a consequence of this are people in these long-term care facilities or retirement homes. So, like I said many times in my past streams, if you can't even protect these people in an environment that it should be perfectly conducive with being able to do so with a bunch of healthcare professionals in these institutions, that should be the place that, hey, if you can do it anywhere, that's the place you can do it, and they can't even do it there. Like I say, folks, I would definitely question a lot about this thing, but just talking about things as if it's all fake or all a hoax. Who are you trying to get on your side? That would be my first question, is who are you trying to reach out to, right? Think about just ask yourself, what kind of person is going to gravitate towards someone that says everything's a conspiracy theory and everything's fake and it's all a hoax, right? Well, like I say, I don't suggest that, which is why, and I don't do it. The main reason why I don't do it is not because I don't believe that anything is possible. Anything is possible when you're talking about this stuff, because there are things that are outside my privy, outside my knowledge. But why wouldn't I sit here and talk about that? The same reason why I'm not Alex Jones, right? I don't want to be known as or be associated with anyone that likes to play the conspiracy. And I get it. I totally understand, right? A lot of people love, come on, Alex Jones, as much as, he does tell some truth from time to time and all that stuff, but he loves the conspiracy theory thing, right? And that's why his channel was very popular. And I'm saying, like, good for them. Not even against it. It's just that that's not me. That's not what I'm about. And that's not what I want brought to my channel. So I would even suggest, once again, I'm fine with losing a few subscribers and a few views if it means that I have to tell you that we're not going to get along very well if you come bring to my channel just nothing but, fake, hoax, this, because that's I get every time I hear anything reported on. There's a certain bunch of people that's all they want to do is everything's fake, everything's a hoax. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't want to live in your fucking mind. That's all I can say. Because man, you must be, wow. I just get a mental image of the kind of person that literally thinks that everything's a conspiracy and everything's fake and everything's a hoax. Like, wow, what is nothing real? Nothing at all, huh? Anyway, so I'll share this article. Like I say, folks, that kind of stuff, I don't get it. I just don't get it. So yeah, long-term care. This is another article. Long-term care deaths expected to rise as growth of total cases slow. And this is this TAM report from CBC News under the politics section, of course. New guidelines for long-term care homes likely to change as pandemic unfolds. This was reported by Laura Osman, Canadian Press, April 13th, 2020. The number of deaths in long-term care facilities is expected to keep rising, even as the growth of overall COVID-19 cases begins to slow, Canada's top public health official warned. Dr. Theresa Tam, the chief public health officer, said the spread of the virus in nursing and retirement homes has been at the root of half of more than 700 deaths across the country. Even as the number of cases slow down, the number of deaths, unfortunately, are expected to increase, Tam said in a medical briefing in Ottawa. So once again, they're saying they can't even protect or eliminate deaths, and like I say, in like in an environment that other than like a very secure laboratory that deals with viruses, I mean, what other facility would you suggest should at least be good at protecting the vulnerable, where you have healthcare professions that do understand that there are airborne, because even a cold or the common flu, right? Even the common cold or the normal or the average flu, the yearly flu, would be something that healthcare providers in these facilities would be like, you don't want people that are vulnerable to catch them, right? So these are places, like I say, should be perfectly adaptable or adept at making sure that the vulnerable within these institutions are protected. But as we're seeing, no. So government is basically admitting that they're failing on so many levels that they can't even protect the most vulnerable among us in these kind of institutions that should have the best chance at being safe and secure for these individuals. So once again, pure wishful thinking to believe that handing out fines to a guy that's walking his dog, or those kids playing basketball, or the guy that took his autistic son out for a walk to get a little bit of sun, to think that causing economic harm to these people is going to prevent deaths from happening or flatten the curve. Well, according to Canada's top health official, doesn't seem like that's going to do a goddamn thing, right? Because most, especially when half of the people, right, they weren't playing basketball in the senior home. The guy wasn't walking his dog in a long-term care facility. Now, was he? No. So like I say, time and time again, I got to repeat this, and I'm going to say it one more time. You can't protect bad things from happening by locking down or quarantine, basically the whole population of this country. And the fact that there's all the frontline workers out there, that proves already, right? It's like the frontline workers, well, we need you, so if you get sick, hey, it sucks. It sucks. But government's saying, when it comes to, essential workers or people that work at grocery store and such, listen, we feel bad for you folks. Take whatever precautions you can. We know you'll practice safety. We know you'll try to do the right thing. And we're going to hope for the best for you. What? They're going to pray? Pray to the Parliament building or whatever? Like, what, they're going to pray to Trudeau? I don't know. But hey, we understand at the end of the day that you're still going to be placed in vulnerable situations. And some of you may very well contact the disease. And some of you may even very well die. But hey, that's the price to making sure that everyone has food. Right? So there's that balance in where we recognize that there is definitely a potential of people contacting the disease and potentially dying. But for those people, that's okay. That's okay for those people because, hey, I want to get my food, right? But for other people, oh no, we're going to, like I say, lock down the entire society, destroy entire segments of the economy because I guess what? Those people are more important than the people that actually provide the essential service. That's the part that I'm having real hard, difficult time to wrap my head around is how is it that, and like I say, nothing against these poor, sick, and elderly people or some of the most vulnerable in society. But I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of these elderly people were basically already probably had half the leg out of the bed and were already creeping towards the grave. Like I say, not trying to be cruel or rude or anything. Like I say, I got a grandmother that's in one of these long-term facilities. I get it. And I worry for her on a daily basis. But once again, I have to think critically about this, right? That's that balancing of the heart, the mind, right? Using some common sense. It's like, why? Why do we have to shut down the entire economy and large segments of society and prevent people from going outside when we know that there are certain people in society that are forced or are allowed to be out there because they're considered essential services? It's saying that some people's lives are more important than others. Or when they make that measured balance, it's like, well, me getting food in my belly is more important than if you die, making sure I got food in my belly. That's what they're saying is, for me, you are of less importance than I am. As long as I get my food, if you die, oh, whatever, right? Or I guess you could even flip that and say the people that are going out to the grocery stores, I mean, they are readily and susceptible to coming in contact with the disease, with the virus, and the cashiers in the grocery stores. I mean, so lots of people are susceptible to getting the disease. But once again, they're allowed to do so and forced to do so. Well, that's kind of the wrong word because technically, if you want to quit your job, so far you are allowed to quit your job. But then if you quit your job and you're an essential service. So it's not exactly forced, but pretty much, right? If you can't quit your job, you can't get unemployment insurance because you're in essential services, and you're not going to get the that bailout from big government because hey, there's a job right there for you, right? Well, like I say, and the fact that these people in the healthcare facilities can't be protected. Well, once again, anyways, I'm moving on past that because there was something else I wanted to cover. Oh, and that's another thing. I wanted to make this to talk about this too. Oh, actually, no. Let me finish this in terms of the frontline workers too. And this is another thing. For those who are out there on the front lines, and I covered this in my past video as well. And I know lots of the people in these low-paying food services industries, such as groceries and such, right? Because my wife's in that occupation as well. So we know of quite a few people, and actually quite a few members of her family are in different levels along grocery chains in different places. But either way, so we know lots of these people. And like I say, these people are being paid right now, going to work every day, or 5 days a week or whatever their hours are. And yeah, they still get like 5 hours a week, even though you don't get full-time hours. You get part-time hours, but yeah. So you're going out multiple times a week, putting yourself in danger, and taking home pay that's less than that $2,000 that governments get handing out to people who are in non-essential services. So if you're non-essential, which means you can go home, nobody will notice a difference because you're in a job that's non-essential. You can sit at home on your ass, paid for by government, more than the people who are out there on the front lines putting themselves in danger. How many people are talking about that in the establishment media? I mean, that's another thing. That's another big, important factor of this whole thing, which just comes to my mind is, well, how come these people are being paid less, even with their little bit of a top up, that extra $2 an hour they got? It's still not even close to what they're paying for people to sit at home on their fucking ass. I mean, come on, at the very least, to incentivize these people to continue want to go out there and take these risks day after day after day after day, shouldn't they at least be paid in excess of what it is to sit home and do nothing because you're not essential at all? I mean, where's the outrage towards that, right? I'm sure a lot of you people, or some of you people, must have someone in your family that's in one of these essential jobs, and you probably recognize they probably don't even bring home $500 take home. You got to remember, that's after taxes a week. Why are they being treated like second-class citizens or garbage? Especially considering they're the ones that are deemed essential. Where does it make sense, folks? Where does it make sense? Anyways, I just had to bring that up because, yeah, grind my gears. Back to the chat, and hopefully we've got rid of a few nut bars. No, I'm sorry, folks. I'm just, like I said, I just don't have patience for stuff like that. I really don't. There's just, like I keep saying to people all the time, there's all kinds of channels for people that want to do those things. There's tons of them out there. I mean, my God, there's a never-ending stream of YouTube channels for people that just want to do all kinds of stuff. I prefer to promote liberty. That's what it is. Canadian Libertarian Channel. Liberty. That's my thing. That's my wheelhouse. That's what I want to talk about, right? That's economic, social, personal, liberty. Everything related to, liberty, freedoms, your inherent rights. That's what this channel is about. So when I cover the news events, it's not about, is it a conspiracy theory? It's about how does it relate to liberty? How does it affect my liberty, your liberty, all of our liberty? That's the point of these things, right? So let's try to stay focused. Stay focused. Stock up, people, while you can. Libertas, Google made Canada, check the numbers there. Full steam ahead during this. So yeah, that's the assisted dying, right? Yeah, wouldn't doubt. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Official blasphemy. Yeah, be careful of violence promotion. Yeah, just don't. Like I said, just don't bring it here. Just don't bring it here. I'm trying to send you some money, Bennett. Having problems. Oh, thanks, Ken. What are you having issues with? The easiest way is PayPal, or actually e-transfer. If you send a message to my Canadian Libertarian BH at gmail.com, which is, if you just go to my About section of the channel, or even in my videos, it's usually linked in there too. It won't be in this one until after it's done in the stream. But e-transfers are really, really easy. I've already had a couple people do that, and yeah, it's really, really seamless. All you need is obviously an email, and I think, one of you got to have, I guess, your banking information hooked up to your email. But I don't see any of that stuff. Like, as the e-transfer is just a matter of just transferring. It's really, really simple. Or, like I say, I haven't even gotten the membership set up, so I know it's not that. You can do super chats, but I would prefer if you... Oh, shoot, I forgot to actually monetize this. Sorry, folks, I did forget that. Crap. All right, I'll have to do it afterwards now. Because, yeah, I forgot to monetize this. Got to stop doing that, Bennett. I always forget to monetize these things. I don't know if you need to before or what. But, of course, it'd make it simpler. But anyway, so like I say, I got Patreon. You can do a monthly thing on Patreon. That's also an option. That's usually, I link that to Patreon. I link Patreon, PayPal. I link my email, so you can do the email. And like I say, we can talk about the e-transfer through the email, because I won't get you to do the e-transfer through that email. I'll give you the link to the proper email that we take the e-transfers for. But we'll do that through email, so it's all private, right? Private communication, so we're not giving out any information to anyone needlessly. But other than that, e-transfers, PayPal, Patreon. Yeah, the membership thing is still not set up. And then I covered the super chats, which, like I say, I'd prefer you do it other ways, because the super chats, they take 30%. But either way, anyways, hopefully I answered that question to you there, Ken. Like I say, Canadian Libertarian BH, Bennett Hunter. So Canadian Libertarian BH at gmail.com. Send me a message if you haven't figured out how to do the donation or whatever, and we can work it out that way. So thanks, Ken. I appreciate that. It's a slow day, it seems. Yeah, it seems like a fairly slow day for sure. Welcome to the world with shitty people. See how liberty will shine again. Yeah, thanks. I know. Appreciate that, Kaz. I just get frustrated at times, folks. I really do. Because, like, this stuff matters to me. It's like, I don't know. It's all a mindset. Liberty's a mindset. And I'm just disappointed every day that there's not as many Canadians as I was hoping that are in the mindset that understand this stuff. But anyways, I'm glad to have the people like yourself that do show up and help me keep things in focus. So appreciate it. Pigs and politicians, lying. China, Thailand. You first heard of Dr. Shiva? Yeah, I've heard of that name. I have. They are dangerous now. They think themselves untouchable. Hey, has anyone noticed a lot of... Oh, my God. Here we go with that. Okay, can you give it up there? And, I mean, obviously, this is someone just using a troll name. Muhammad is a pedo. Hey, has anyone noticed they've been putting up... Like I say, why bring that here? Why? What's the point? Obviously, someone that has no time. You have no life? Nothing? No life at all. That bored. You're really that bored. There's not a damn thing. Watching paint dry somewhere? Yeah. My girlfriend works in a care home in Ontario. Nobody has tested positive. Hope it stays that way. Yeah. Freedom Prospector. That's good to know that so far they've been keeping them safe, because, yeah, that's another thing I'm concerned about, right? And so far, where my grandmother's at, like, thank goodness, so far so good, right? And hopefully, like I say, most of these facilities are being better managed and taken care of, but obviously not all, right? Good for you, Ben. Understand that point, especially coming to unfounded facts. Thanks, Gordon. Also has some good work. Andrew Kaufman, MD, also, okay, right on. Since the $2 trillion bailout, the CV-19 is referred to as the crony virus. Yeah, crony virus, right? I know. What do you think of the healthcare workers who bail out when an outbreak hits? I mean, that's the thing. They went into the healthcare profession, surely must have known, I mean, because things do happen, outbreaks do happen. mean, to go in that field, you would kind of want to know what it entails. Like, I know any job or occupation I went into, like, it didn't take too long before I realized what those jobs or occupations entailed, and I decided whether I want to accept that or not. And yeah, it kind of seems like a bad time to decide to bail at that particular time, right? You might have thought about that prior, but once again, I can't judge every individual that makes that choice for themselves because I don't know their personal situation. So would I say it's probably doesn't look good, like optics wise, right? But maybe they have people in their life, they have to go home every night, and they have someone in their own home that they have to take care of or provide for that is in a very, very vulnerable situation, and maybe they're fearful that they're going to bring it. There's lots of excuses and reasons why someone might do so. Like I say, that's the beauty of, like I say, of people having, having proper guidelines and rules and setup that should be followed as we should all voluntarily choose to, right? But just accept the fact that some people are going to choose not to, and some people are going to choose to follow the rules. The people that are responsible are going to follow the rules, whether they're mandated or they're just suggestions or guidelines. And most people, like I say, because they're going to care about their own self or those they care about, right? Or if you did cause harm to someone, that person might be able to turn around and sue you if you're in an occupation and you've caused them to suffer from a disease or virus. Like I say, there's enough incentive already baked in terms of personal responsibility and holding people to account that you don't need government mandated legislation or political edicts to say nobody's allowed to do anything. Like I say, because we're all individuals in our own individual circumstances or situation, I can't make a statement that say that these people are making the wrong choices, because they may very well be making an actually wise choice, not just for them, but for vulnerable people as well. So that's my thought on it. Like I say, I can't say one way or the other. Each individual circumstance is going to be, I would base every individual circumstance based on the facts of the circumstance. And even then, it would be my opinion only, right? Point fire, that's what get you. Okay. Corona beer sales have tanked. Oh, no. I'll buy it. Okay. How can I send you some cash, man? I doubt you want to send me cash. But like I say, anyone that does want to do so, like I say, I have a PayPal, Patreon, and you can send a message to my email, and we can set something up that way through email. But once again, 3.3 million unemployed. Wow. Stand by, I will check it out now. Gates said 2010, 33. No mention of the Japanese drug Ativan, I guess. Our politicians aren't invested. Yeah, I heard a little bit about that, but I don't know much about it myself either. Liberty comes with all types. I get that. Listen, like I say, I'm all for people doing their own thing. It's just that, like, and for this kind of stuff, can we just kind of stick to, just stick to the topic at hand? And if you believe it's all a hoax, and that, like I say, that's totally. Embrace being a magnet for, no, I will not do that. Why would I? Where's anything I say? Anyways, this point fires, I don't know. Sometimes, like, you wonder, what about anything I say would be a magnet for, like, I don't know. That just doesn't make sense to me. That sounds like a derogatory statement and an insult directed towards me, as far as I'm concerned. But hey, whatever. To each their own. Anyways, let me get back to. Oh yeah, there was this other star, and of course, Frank, I'm telling you, today I'm being very discouraged here, folks. I'm having a hard time even trying to get through this one. I just have to tell you. I'm having a hard time getting through this stream. It's not nearly as invigorating, exciting, The chats are not coming out the way I was hoping. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. So this from the Toronto Star. How COVID-19's anti-lockdown fringe feeds on some Canadians' real anxieties and speaks to government's next challenge. This was reported by Douglas Kwan from the Vancouver Bureau, April 13th, 2020. Oh, unfortunately, I'm not subscribed to the Star, so I'm not going to be able to read all. But basically, it is clear that some people calling for an end to lockdowns and social distancing are fringe provocateurs and online trolls who trade in COVID-19 disinformation and conspiracies, experts say. But there's also no question, they add, that the dissenters, those pushing to end the lockdown, are tapping into the feelings of some Canadians who have incurred economic losses and are growing increasingly frustrated about having to hunker down in their homes. So, and that's as far as I can reach in that. But yeah, so like I say, you're given, for people like that are doing the conspiracy, like it's all fake or it's a hoax or all this stuff. Well, they're going to call you the fringe. They're going to tie you all together. Like, this is how it works. And it's like you give them so much work to, like, or you give them so much to work with. Like, I don't know. To me, it's like I try to look for people. I try to appeal to people that are smart enough to think outside the box, to recognize how the media will portray you But once again, I don't know what it is. If there's just not that many Canadians in this country that seem to understand things. Like, I constantly try to explain to you folks all the time. All the fucking time I'm trying to explain. But I don't know. Some of you are just so fucking thick, nothing seems to get through. But yeah. And I mean, the Star is just a piece of crap rag tabloid as far as I'm concerned at this point in time. But yeah, they'll get a lot of people that'll agree. Why? Because you give them the fodder for it. Like, kudos to you, I guess, right? Or like I say, if you come to my channel to do it to make me look bad, well, you can try as best as you want, but it's you that's speaking, not me. And as you recognize, I point it out all the time so that anyone else that's watching or observing realize that it's you, not me. I don't know what the hell's wrong with people. Not me. I'm not the one saying the crazy stuff. You folks are. Bonokoski, CBC Jobs. Oh, listen to this one. This was a great one, folks. This one's out of the Toronto Sun. Mark Bonokoski. This was reported April 13th, 2020. CBC jobs depend on kissing up to Liberals. Ask former CBC star. In the Twitter world, stalked relentlessly by journalists, there was a significant flap over the weekend when the esteemed CBC foreign correspondent Neil MacDonald, now retired, posted that CBC jobs were wholly dependent upon keeping the Liberals happy. The I told you so crowd was elated, of course. Finally, the truth. Yeah. That's the thing. We've all known this. Some of us have all known that. I mean, come on. To pretend that the CBC doesn't have a Liberal bias is literally to suggest that, you're not paying attention to anything that's happening. It's just so blatantly obvious. Like I say, only the kind of person that is trying to lie or deceive you would try to suggest that, oh no, CBC is not biased towards the Liberals. Like, really though? Come on. Especially for people that actually pay attention. Like, really? Oh, you're going to try to convince me that I don't see with my own eyes and I can't hear with my own ears the reality, and you're just going to tell me that, no, all that's fake, right? More people, oh, that's fake, right? And it's just, oh no, I'm not seeing what I'm seeing or hearing what I'm hearing. Just look away, plug your ears, don't worry, it's nothing of the sorts, right? Well, good luck on that one, because yeah, the old faculty still work just fine. Barton responded. Oh, okay. It began with Conservative Senator Linda from. Oh my God. It began when Conservative Senator Linda From posted a video on Twitter of the Commons emergency debate that showed CBC anchor Rosie Barton suddenly cutting away just as Conservative mucker-upper Pierre Poilievre was delivering a tough question to the PM about when he knew about COVID-19. Barton responded to the ensuing vitriol with a rather non-offensive tweet, although she perhaps wrongly assumed the majority of her critics were card-carrying Conservatives, finally having their suspicions confirmed. If you had been watching from the top, your leader has already asked the same question, she tweeted in her defense. We also thought perhaps the death of 31 people in one long-term care center in Quebec might be important to get to. but do go on. R.I.P. course, but tame until Neil MacDonald chipped in. Barton, he explained, had a content boss ordering her via her earpiece to cut away from Poilievre to save the Liberals from getting hammered on live TV. Oh, the political commissioner did that, MacDonald stated. At CBC, all on-air people have a commissioner in the right ear, or a commissar, in the right ear. It's a fail-safe in case the journalist fails to recognize something that might harm the Liberal Party. I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but I was always uneasy with it. Neil MacDonald, because he kind of quasi-identified as a libertarian there for a little bit. It's like, really though? Working for CBC? Really, Neil? How'd you pull that off all these years, right? To be such a walking, talking contradiction. But apparently, it was eating at him. Because now that he's no longer there and he's retired, well, like I say, some truth's coming out. And will point out that actually it was that article by Neil MacDonald was when I found that 4.1 million number reference that I use all the time to show just how many people in Canada work for the government, federal, provincial, and local. I didn't have access to that number. Neil had that as an insider for CBC, did have access to it. Thank goodness he did report on it that time. And not only did I save the article and archive it, but I screen captured the actual quotation. And that's what you see me uploading all the time from CBC News, is the fact that 4.1 million Canadians in this country work for the government in some capacity. Oh, and by the way, the other number that came with that is a full 71% of them are females. So, that was during the time when, women are so underrepresented, in certain fields and the wage gap and, all that bull crap, right? But meanwhile, in terms of government, no, it's completely upside down. It's actually the majority, and 70+% is a substantial majority. It's not just a little bit of a majority, it's more than 2/3. It's more than even a super majority of people who work for government in some capacity, which, think about it, have basically not just gold-plated pensions, but some of the best paying gigs out there, right? Because they don't have to worry about economics. They don't have to worry about the business shutting down because they can use forced wealth and income redistribution. So 71% of those workers who are female are they all make good money. And like I say, got that gold-plated pension and are probably a lot of them are sitting home right now getting paid for basically doing nothing. So, there's that discrepancy, whereas a lot of the men in the oil patch are going through hell right now, right? So there's a divide. If people want to play that sex divide between men and women, well, male wages have been stagnating for 4+ decades out there in the private sector. Meanwhile, women, a majority of the women that work for government, or a majority of the people who work for government are women, and their wages are all pegged to inflation. They get raises constantly, adjusted for inflation, so they can stay out ahead and not see the purchasing power of their incomes depreciate or devalued on a continued basis. So there's that as well. Anyways, folks. Anyways, let me continue on with this article. But he was not done. I remember the commissars telling us that our jobs depend on getting Liberals elected, he tweeted. When some of us protested that the Liberals under Paul Martin made the deepest cuts to CBC budgets ever, I had to take a series of classes and sign a revised NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. Oh, you had to sign it. Okay. Eventually, MacDonald gave up and posted a mea culpa of sorts, but made no mention whatsoever of the bomb he had just dropped. I apologized to my former colleagues and promised never again to comment on matters that no longer concern me, he tweeted. And that was that. This had one Twitter member, all question, no answer, posting a picture under the heading, "Here's Neil coming to his senses and rethinking his position." So, it does continue on a little further. It was a black and white photograph taken in 1945 showing some poor sap standing forlornly before what appeared to be a packed Nazi courtroom. When reached at his home, MacDonald came clean. It was a contemptuous joke on my part, he told me. I worked there 32 years, and I never experienced the slightest political pressure. Had I would have screamed loud and long. CBC journalists are like most journalists, bourgeois, tending to genuflect to power and authority, socially permissive, pro-globalization, etc. The idea that they are on the left is silly. It takes mental discipline to actually be on the left. Rick Salutin is on the left. Linda McQuaig is on the left. Neither is taken serious by MSM. As to why Barton cut off Polyev, my guess is she wasn't even listening to him. Most anchors don't, he said. They had to move on the nursing home disaster in Montreal, apparently. Truth be told, I don't watch TV news. It's cartoonish. I would no more sit and listen to Rosemary Barton than I'd watch the Polka Dot Door. So maybe that non-disclosure agreement that was just mentioned a little bit earlier had something to do with his about face a little bit there. But, I mean, like I say, what he said originally, you know damn well that was probably a lot of truth to that, right? Anyways, I'm getting back to the chat. Like I say, I'm not having a great day today, folks, so I'm probably going to tie it up fairly quick. Can one sue their employer for not providing? I would suggest maybe call up a lawyer and ask that. Seems like something that could be a potential, right? How difficult is it to get a signature during lockdown while we're here? Screamer. Room 203 sorted. Yeah. Okay. Send me cash. Yeah. Gonna be kind of hard to do that, but anyways. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm probably going to tie this stream up. Yeah, definitely tying the stream up. I'll try another one. Maybe tomorrow or something. But for some reason, I don't know. Today's just not one of those days. I come into it with some high hopes, but it's just not panning out. So I guess today's just not going to be one of those days. But anyways, before I do tie this up, let me just mention one more time that I have set up memberships. While it's not completed yet, I still have to do so. There's a bunch of steps I got to take in order to set up the membership. Like I said, I don't even know how I was allowed to do that because apparently you're supposed to get 10,000 subscribers before you're allowed to set up having membership on your channel. But they gave me the option to do so, so I'm going to take advantage. And like I say, you got 3 levels. So if you do want to help support the channel in any way, there are multiple ways already, like I mentioned already early on, through PayPal, Patreon. Send me a message through my email. And what's another one? Actually, for those of you, if there's anyone out there that has Bitcoin, I even usually place a link to my Bitcoin address as well so that I can get donations that way. Because, yeah, of course, I'll take cryptocurrencies. Probably should set up, actually, I think with the way I have it set up, I think you can even possibly donate, or no, actually, no, right now it's Bitcoin, but I probably should add in your Ethereum in case people have that as a cryptocurrency and would like to help out in some way by donating some of that. Because that's the thing, if you have Bitcoin, especially if you got it earlier on, yeah, you got a lot of extra coin rolling around there now. Well, Bitcoin in particular, right? Digital coin, I should say, but yeah, that can be converted into cold, hard Canadian cash too. So, like I say, if anyone's got an extra, point whatever of a Bitcoin you want to throw around, or even a whole one. I don't know what's going on today, but yeah, probably not a whole one. Too many people want to donate. But yeah, even if you want to give just a small little fraction of a Bitcoin, I'm always looking to get a donation. And like I say, if it comes in that form, I'm more than happy with that too, because that's another way to help protect against the depreciation and the devaluation of those Canadian dollars that may very well end up being worth less than that toilet paper. Toilet paper is getting in more demand and might become even higher in price, whereas the Canadian dollar might be heading back the opposite way, right? Toilet paper going up, Canadian dollar going down, right? There's that great divide right there. And tell you the truth, yeah, at some point in time, toilet paper may very well prove to be worth even more than those Canadian polymer dollars, right? Anyways, folks, like I say, thanks for everyone that did join the stream today. I appreciate those of you who do keep things on the up and up and don't get into some of the craziness, because like I say, it's not what I want to do with this channel. That's never been my intention, this channel. Like I say, and I'm just going to say this one last time, there's nothing that against got against people that want to talk about that stuff or get into the conspiracy-minded stuff. I mean, some of these conspiracies may be proven correct. Like I say, that's not what this channel is all about. If you want to do that, I definitely recommend. There's lots of channels out there for that. Just type it in, and you'll see like a never-ending list of channels. And like I say, I'm even willing to tell you that Alex Jones, although I think his channel is probably, is it still up? Well, you can go to his actual website, I suppose, but. And like I say, lots of other ones out there that I won't mention any names, but yeah, if you do a search, you can find lots of channels that want. And like I say, get into some pretty heavy discussions, right? I think that Amazing Polly seems like one of those YouTube channels that's really, really big into that stuff, right? Because I see, I follow her on Twitter. I see like lots of QAnon, that Event 201 or what, like the. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that I'm pretty sure that you could probably talk a lot of those things with on that channel, and you'd get people, right? Rather than someone like me like scolding you for bringing it, like, you know, that would be completely conducive and accepting and want to interact, engage with you and such. And like I say, nothing against it, it's just not what my channel's for. So like I say, everyone have a great day. I'll see you in the next stream. Probably if I get the opportunity, and if there's definitely some stuff because I didn't get to cover it all. So yeah, more than likely tomorrow. If not tomorrow, well, it'll definitely be coming up again soon over the next day or two. So everyone have yourself a great day. We'll see you in the next stream. Skinny in the